Welcome back to another episode of Fhony Kickin It with Six. This episode is going to be it's a special episode. Basically, just me answering some questions with MJM the kid.
Yeah, what up, y'all?
Mike,
What up?
He's going to be interviewing me. Basically, just asking me about just like some things that I can elaborate on, and basically I give out game to the generation before me, or people that's in the same exact shoes and trying to achieve the dream of playing basketball internationally, and what to do, what not to do, some red flags, what to look for in signing in with a team, talking with coaches, agencies, recruitment groups and consulting agencies and things of that nature, because it's a lot going on that especially with the levels of basketball, the highest, which is the NBA, I'm pretty sure don't have to go through what I'm talking about, or EuroLeague players or anybody that's playing in like top leagues, that what I'm saying, they don't necessarily go through everything that we're going to be talking about, but just the players that's right there in the middle that like I explained before, that didn't go to like a great college, or didn't play college ball, or just have the dream and aspirations of playing internationally, but didn't take the easiest route, or take the proper steps before trying to accomplish this. So, yeah. How you feeling, Mike? You
I
good?
feel good.
Everything good?
I feel real good. Yeah. How about you?
Just same old.
In
same
2026
old.
now.
Yeah,
We ain't talked to him
yeah.
since 2025.
I got a little, a little something at the end of this. I gotta share with everybody.
Yeah.
And then after that, we got the finale coming up. We're gonna be ending the season of Fhony Kickin It with Six. But the finale is another episode with me, Kendall, and Kiki, and then we just gonna touch on a couple stuff like Valentine's Day, Super Bowl, and also the recap of the whole journey of the podcast, and what we thought, what we think we could do better, and things that they liked and I liked, and et cetera. So
Yeah.
really excited about that. What's going on, Mike?
What's going on with me?
What's going on with you? What you got brewing?
You know what? Just staying busy, honestly. Shoots for days. I got a busy weekend.
Did you start like a vlog too?
Yeah. I started a vlog, Many Moments vlog on YouTube.
Check that out.
I'm just trying to stay consistent with that.
Mike be outside. He be outside.
Just traveling a little
outside
bit
on that plane. In them streets, he be outside.
I be trying to have a good time.
No, I feel you got to, man. We ain't got long on this earth. We all on borrowed time.
Yeah, we got to make it
What I'm
happen.
saying? So definitely got to make it happen.
Yeah, you want to get into some of these questions?
Yeah. We gonna get into this now. When I answer these questions, I'm basically talking about my experience. I'm not saying this is the way everybody, journey went, or what they're gonna have to deal with. Like, everybody's journey is unique. That's one thing I wanted to start off with. So this is just what I went through, and a couple of notes and stuff that I could pass down to y'all, because I get a lot of questions. People ask me about agencies, they ask me about teams, they ask me about leagues, and it's just that I feel like this would be something that I really could do to reach out to those people that had questions.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I think people need to know and understand your journey.
Yeah, for sure. Not even just my journey, just like stuff that you may encounter going through,
right? And
understand, like, this shit is not easy, because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. All export LA Fitness, Lifetime gyms would be empty, because everybody would be overseas internationally playing somewhere. So it is difficult. That's why I take so much pride in what I accomplished to this day, because it's like I've seen players that were good enough in whatever situation, they wasn't able to accomplish that. So I feel like I could just give out game to
absolutely
to them guys, for real.
So you mentioned about speaking with coaches and agents and all that kind of stuff. So one thing I would like to know, and for the people, how would you identify a good agency, and what are some red flags when talking to a team or a coach,
Yeah, so like I said, like the levels that it is in basketball, like the NBA being the highest, of course, them players they don't have to reach out to coaches or leagues or agencies personally because these players are scouted from like damn near almost high school, which I wasn't. So um, basically, you first of all you want to be professional. You don't want to, you're not sliding to nobody DMs. You're not talking to your homeboys. You want to be
Yeah.
professional. So you might want to come up with a script or have somebody if you're not really hip to grammar etiquette. You might want to get with somebody that can help you out and just copy and paste it to your notes and basically just like take out the names and the teams whenever you do your research and just change it to whoever you're reaching out to and basically just sound professional. You know what I'm saying? Don't sound niggerish and no ghetto shit like that.
Yeah,
And
that's
just
real.
present yourself, mainly name, height, weight, school, and if you have any experience, list that experience. You could pretty much like use that to talk to coaches and agencies and team representatives. But honestly, uh, the best way is just like get used to like talking to different people about different situations. 'Cause situations is not going to be the same. So what I did was I got my first job through a mutual friend. Actually, he had some history playing in the G League and overseas, and had a couple connections, and he got me my gig in Germany. But since then, like I think the best thing to do is to not get an agent. With me, I think it's better. And the way to do that is basically educate yourself. Do research on leagues and teams and find out what the how the economy is in the country. Whoever you trying to, you real life got to do your homework. You can't just up and think you're gonna play somewhere and don't know the history or even how the country is economically, and then you don't get paid or they pay you low or whatever. So I think if you do decide to reach out to an agent, I feel like if first of all, like I said, do your homework. You could check agencies on Eurobasket also, just like how you would check for player profiles and teams like that. So definitely do your homework on the agency. Go on their Instagram, look under their posts and see how their players that they claim they're representing, how they interacting with them when they post them and things like that, just to see, how legitly, these people are, because there's a lot of like scams and stuff that people don't know that's going on. In this particular part of the industry of basketball, trying to sign yourself, other than being on that level where you get scouted out and agencies come and they basically ask you to sign to their agency. They give you like, hey, I could get you here, get you there. But if you definitely not doing that, there's a couple scams that you can really run into, and that's one of the red flags is if anybody is asking you to pay for anything, that's an automatic red flag.
Okay.
Like even if it's Visa, your flight or whatever the case may be, like if they say like, yeah, like with an agent, if you reach out to an agency and he's telling you like, yeah, I charge a membership or some shit like that.
Yeah,
like
no, that sounds crazy anyway.
But yeah, it's a lot
crazy.
of shit out there like that. Like, don't get me wrong, there are like consulting companies that run like Instagrams, and they are legit just because of it's probably like an ex-player or a friend of a player or a couple of players that's put together this like consulting agency, and what they do is they use their network that either coaches that they know, teams that they play for already, and they basically have built this trust with that team, coach, or organization. And what they do is they like, okay, I'm only gonna work with you if you bring me. I need this type of player, or I need this type of player. I'll be able to come to you instead of like branching out and trying to get players. And because a lot of people could play, but a lot of people are not professional. It's a lot of that go into it. So they feel like if you send them if they trust you, and if you send them somebody, then they could trust that person with the
Right.
same amount of trust as being professional. That, you know what I'm saying? That actually love the game and want to play and want to win and want to adapt to that team, other than just like go over there and start doing whatever they want to do for whatever reason. So it's a lot. So definitely, if anybody asks you, just pay this or just pay that, like that's
Red flag, you guys.
That's a definite red flag. Definitely have film and to be able to send to these agencies and teams also, because that's the first thing like they gonna ask you, other than like your experience and you know, stuff like that, you know. So
Yeah. Okay.
that's pretty much
That should be helpful for somebody.
pretty
for
much
sure.
pretty much it. That's only like the only red flag, literally, like because most, you got to understand, most of these countries that, you know, you're reaching out to, they're kind of like in like their economy is kind of like bad. So you know what I'm saying, they'll say, yeah, pay my, you know, I got connections here and there, just pay my membership, and the first it's like one-time fee of you know, $200-$300 or something, and it's for a year, and I'll help you find a job. It's like, no, like I just gave you, you know, money enough to feed your family for the rest of the month, and you not even like legit like that. It's like, it's a lot of scams, and I'm not saying that everybody is like that, but it's like that, like most of the time, especially if they asking you to pay something up front when they haven't even like did any kind of work for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is
no connection for real.
This is the first conversation, and the first thing you do is ask me for some money. Like, that's a definite red flag. With that, for real. And also, you got to understand, like, when you're messaging these coaches and these agencies and, you know, these organizations, you got to understand that, you know, once you do that, your Instagram, you basically you are your own brand. So like, you can't be inquiring about a job, you know, and like these, like, and they will do it, like these coaches and these teams, they will go on your Instagram, they will Google you, they will do everything. So just I say refrain from, like, if this is what you want to do, you can't be in your most recent post is you on a block holding a switch with an extended, you know what I'm saying? You know, and just like, they look for stuff like that because they want to know if you're going to be a troublemaker, if you know what I'm saying, if they going to have to worry about you getting, like, you know what I'm saying,
if you're a
doing
liability.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want you to be that's the last thing they need for you to be a liability. So when you messaging these clubs and these teams and these coaches, just make sure that, you know what I'm saying, you representing yourself well, because also they do talk to each other. Owners, coaches, they will reach out to your previous team, or they'll reach out to your previous college or whoever, and they will even ask for the reference. But most of the time, if you like maneuver within like a market, so if you just like play with a whole lot of like South American teams, like a team that's in, you know, Ecuador would go and message your last team that was in, you know, Paraguay, and they'll be like, yo, you know, tell me about this player. And then when they sit up there and give him the rundown, like, oh, we had to worry about him, you know, the police came to the room, he was smoking weed, or you know what I'm saying, he always turning up, or he's a party animal, he left the apartment a mess, you know what I'm saying, he crashed our car, you know, stuff like that. So you definitely got to understand that when you step out in that world and you messaging players, I mean, you know, even players, teams, team owners, coaches, that you are representing yourself and you representing the brand, and you will want, just like in any other business, you want your brand to look presentable and professional as such. So that's another thing. Make sure your appearance is top tier.
What would you say the biggest misconception American players have about playing overseas?
That is glamorous. Like the Instagram shit look good. Trust me, I know. Like, you know, you see me on the beach and shit, and you know what I'm saying. But you don't understand. Like, you know, the team probably late on paying you, or you know what I'm saying. You probably you don't get to practice. You know, anytime you want to. You only practice like once a week. You have 3 games a week. You know what I'm saying. And the organization probably wants you to score 50 points a game. Like it's crazy. So
That's insane.
and then depending on where you go. So if you go anywhere in Europe, you know, they most countries in Europe, they, you know what I'm saying, they have seasons. So just imagine you go to, like, just for an example, I was in Armenia and there was no travel plan, but they housed some teams closer to the gym. Them players was walking to practice, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And it's a blizzard outside, but you got to be, your obligation is to be there, you know what I'm saying? So on top of the fact it's cold outside, you get to the gym, it's cold. So now you playing, then they expect you, hey, oh, your mom just died. Oh, I'm sorry about that, but tomorrow we need you to score 50. Yeah, that's real cutthroat.
Insane.
It's real cutthroat.
Wow.
And then like the other misconception people have is that, oh, this person go over there, they killing, and oh, they gonna do this, and like, no, like, I know players that did everything right on their team and basically was the anchor for their team, and like, it's a lot of things that can happen, but them players will get sent home, and it's not necessarily that they're not good. You know what I'm saying? So if you see somebody that's overseas and they home too early or whatever, like, at the end of the day, it's a business. They probably got a player they thought that was better for cheaper, and that could pivot the season. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he doing good. We got a player that could do just as much as he can do. And then his agent told me he only want, you know what I'm saying? He want $400 less. And like I said, depending on what country you go to in the economy, that $400 is like $10,000 here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like me paying Mike, you know, $2,000 for an episode. You know what I'm saying? But then I found another producer that could produce just as, like, not probably even be a little bit less talented than you, but it's like it'll pass.
Yeah.
But they only want 1,000.
Right.
But you ain't do nothing wrong.
Right.
Like, you was on time for shoot day. You know what I'm saying? The work is good, but hey, especially like I said, over in that economy, like, it's real different. And those couple $100, well, you know, $1,000 wherever you go, it really makes a difference.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing. Like, it's not. The last thing it is glamorous. Okay. That's the last thing overseas basketball is. I mean, depending on the level also. But I've known players, like, I done had conversations with Sharon Collins before, and he told me about they was late on paying him. And I don't know if you know, but, you know, Sharon Collins is a big name in Chicago basketball. You know what I'm saying? He went to Crane. Yeah. You know, ended up going to Kansas. Okay. Then he was in the league for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But even when he went overseas, you know what I'm saying, like, they will try you. They'll probably put you in a bogus apartment or something. Oh, wow. The toilet don't flush, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or something, the heat don't work. Right. I remember in Armenia, for the last end of the season, I think our owner checked out, or someone was like, you know what, like fuck this. And we didn't even have heat in the crib one time. Like, yeah. I had to go shack up with Dewan and my boy DJ, and they played for another team, but that was only like for I think the last week or something before I was out there. But it get crazy.
That kind of goes into my next question about, like, what are some tough things to overcome while you over there? But you kind of getting into it with, like, living conditions and all that stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is that it's not always like that, though. Right, it's like you really rolling the dice, going to different countries and playing in different leagues. So you may go somewhere and it's all good. The only thing that could be better is, like, you know, you could practice more. Cause, like, for personal experience, my last job was in Costa Rica, and everything was great. The only thing that I wish that we had was more gym time. You know what I'm saying? But that goes into the economy of the country. Like, everybody uses this gym. You know, the school use the gym. The local communities, they use this gym because this is the only gym. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get in where we fit in, basically. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wow. So yeah, but that's only, like I said, that's only certain countries though. Yeah. But I think the biggest thing, like, as far as, like, trying to overcome, it all starts with the mental, and I think that's where that could really make or break if this is really what you want to do. I think that's the number. It's not about the talent, because everybody could play. Yeah. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Everybody is athletic. And, you know, there's a lot of athletic, smart, skilled players. But the thing is that some people are not okay with being away from their family.
Yeah,
For
the isolation is probably real.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. So especially like you have to be comfortable with being alone. You know what I'm saying? If you're not comfortable with being alone and being in your own thoughts at the end of the night after a bad game, or you know what I'm saying, you can't celebrate with your family after a good game, or you get homesick, and then like things like I said earlier, like things go on at home. So like if your child, your mom, or anybody that's important in your family gets sick or whatever,
Yeah.
depending on your relationship, most of the time like they will accommodate, be like, you know what, that's fair. We understand that you got to take a break or whatever, but you also get some organizations be like, oh, you can go home and then we'll let you know if we want to bring you back because we need to push for the playoffs, and we sorry this happened to you, but we have a business to run too.
Yeah, it's still a business.
So it's still it's the business before it is anything else at the end
personal.
of the day. Yeah. So number one is the mental. Like that's number one, and the mental will mess you up so bad where you may be like this phenomenal player at the crib, and then or in college or whatever it was, but then once you fly and you got to live in a whole different time zone away from your family, then that's where it gets tricky. Right. So now your mental is like, dang, I miss my mom, I miss my girl, I miss my my uncle, my brothers, my family, or whatever. But all right, also, are you gonna be able to perform? You know what I'm saying? So now it's a thing where do your game travel? Yeah. So you good in Chicago in the pro-ams and stuff like that, where your mom is in the crowd, you get to talk to them, you get to turn up with the homies after the game. But what about when you go to a whole different country? Right. You missing your family, you missing your boys or whatever.
Will that affect your game?
Right, exactly. So then you don't perform well. Now you got everybody cursing at you in a language that you don't even understand. So now you can't see, because it's different. Like when us, like, because in America, like English is of course our primary language. So if I'm doing bad or I'm doing something that you don't like, just by the tone and what you say, I could feel the energy.
Yeah.
Over there, you could be sitting there and this man could be cursing you out in the calmest voice, and you think it's all good, but he telling you, hey, we gonna send your ass home because you're not doing what you supposed to do.
You can't tell.
And I'm gonna tell the owner tomorrow, and you can't tell at all. You think it's all good. He telling you, it's okay.
We'll let you go.
It's okay. We'll next game, and then but you know what I'm saying. So it's real tough. Yeah. Like it's tough for real.
Well, how do you prepare for something like that, like a season, physically and mentally?
To be completely honest with you, just don't stop. I mean, even so, like with me, like most of the time, I don't know when I'm gonna get my next contract, and that's not even me. That's for like most. That's like 80% of players that play overseas, because the market is so saturated with leagues and players. So it could be like the smallest league, and there's like my point is that it's more leagues than they were like 10 years ago, and there's more players that's trying to play overseas. So the thing is that you don't know when your next contract is going to come. So I think the hardest thing to do, and which goes by with the saying, walk by faith and not by sight. Like you really got to stay in the gym and train with the same intensity and the same motive of wanting to get better, without knowing your next contract, with the same motive as in if somebody told you, hey, you leaving in 2 weeks to go play. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing, because you want to stay ready so you don't have to get ready, because like, trust me, you could not know anything. Like you won't have a lead or no kind of direction of all of your career is going Monday, and then Tuesday you got to fly out Wednesday because you got a call that they need this type of player, and you so happen to be brought up. You know what I'm saying? So if you sit at home bullshitting or only going here or there, and I go to the gym 5 a.m. every day, then daily. I lift. So you know what I'm saying? You got to fall in love with the grind, right? Because if you don't, like, like this game, like it would filter out the people that love it and the people that don't, that do it just for, because you got a lot of like social media hoopers, you know, that you got people that, you know, that don't really that don't play in like real leagues. They just do this shit for like the image and shit like that. They don't love the game for real. So you gotta fall in love with the grind, and you gotta just stick to it. Even if you have a contract coming up or not, you got to stick to it, because if you doing your due diligence and reaching out to teams and agencies, or if you have an agent and he's doing his job, your job is to stay prepared. So when that call does come, and it can come at the most rank, like
not even expecting.
That's the most underrated thing that I think basketball players like really take, like they don't understand the what's the word I'm looking for, like the seriousness of it could really happen where you don't know where you going one day and the next day you get a call and you got to fly out.
It's the urgency.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like a demand industry. Like,
right. Okay.
For most of the time, like most teams, they'll try to base their roster off what happened last year.
Okay.
But the thing is, they don't know what other teams are doing. So just for instance, say an example, like a team that had a American import last year, and they said, you know what, for this season, we want to develop our local guards. Meaning the locals, the players that's from that country that the team is in. We want to develop our local guards, and the only imports we're gonna bring in are, you know, big man. Oh, yeah. But what they didn't know is that the other 4 other teams in the league brought in good imported American guards that won't be able to, you know what I'm saying? And their local guards won't be able to hold their own against the import experienced, you know, stronger, faster players.
Right.
So
they cannot defend.
after a couple games, or after, like I say, a month, now it's like, all right, we got to bring in a guard. So that goes into what I was saying earlier. It's like you could be doing everything right, and then they'll send you home, because most countries, they have an import limit. So if that team, if that team brought in all big men and was going to try to develop their local guards, but we need a import guard like tomorrow. Right. So, but we got to send one of our big men home. So that's when they make the decision. They'll go and be like, hey, you know what? We appreciate you. We ain't do nothing wrong, but this is what we need to compete in the season. And then they just sent the big man home that did nothing, absolutely nothing wrong, that was performing, did what he was supposed to do, but they needed to make that decision to make the team better, because it's a business at the end of the day.
Right.
And to bring in that import guard. So that's what I think is like the most I could say as like preparing for a season, and like just stay ready, stay in the gym and staying ready. Okay. You know what I'm saying? The mentality thing, like you would know. Of course, you wouldn't know what to expect until you get out there to prepare mentally to be in a whole nother country, especially a country that you've never been to before. So, you know what I'm saying? You have to go out there with that open mind of, you know, learning the culture, you know, understanding the basic words and language, so you'll be able to maneuver. You know what I'm saying? Like,
does that kind of thing help a player? Like, does that show value to teams and coaches when you do that?
Yeah, especially.
Did you have to change anything, or like your identity to become like more valuable in that way?
So, my game originally, when I first started playing basketball, I was athletic, so I was always jumping and dunking, you know, stuff like that. But then the older I got and the more experience that I've gained, I've turned into like a defensive player. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And I also turned into more of a facilitating type of point guard, not necessarily like a scoring point guard. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
I think the game is changing nowadays as far as, you know, there are guards that are like scoring guards, but then if you go into a market like Europe, of course they will love if you can score, but they also want to know if you're able to run an offense. You know what I'm saying? Are you able to facilitate? If your main motor is to go get a bucket, but that's not what they want you to do, that's another way that you can get, you know, sent home to the crib. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I basically had to I naturally turned into like a defensive facilitating point guard, and that's what got me, most of the time my jobs, and that's why I was able to, survive so long in the basketball industry. So, even some big men, they probably have to that can score. They probably have to be like a rebounder, or you know what I'm saying. You may be a 6'7", 6'8", 6'7" player, and in one country they had you play the center position where all you did was grab rebounds, but then you go to Europe, now they want you on the three position, and now you shooting, you know what I'm saying? So you basically just got to adapt, and that's another thing most players are not able to adapt also. So they go, you just this dribbling machine that can score at the crib, but over there, or when you under a clock and you got a shot clock, you in a system, it's different when you open gym in the system too. So if you're able to adapt your game into a system type of player, I think that could very prolong a player's career.
Okay,
for real.
What would you change about the process overseas, just the league in general? If you had to, what would you do differently?
From my experience and just my level of where I've been hooping at, and just because that I've got my career the way that I did, meaning that I didn't have agencies or teams knocking at my door. I wasn't I actually worked for my shit. I worked for my skill. I would be the first to say I love the game, but I wasn't that skilled in many departments. But I had to work on that. That was the whole purpose of me going into the gym every day and prepping, and use my experience to say, all right, when I get back home, this is what I got to work on more. This is what I got to work on more. So, basically, I think I'll just I would change just the process in general. If there was a way to weave out the scammers, and to weave out
the biggest.
You know what I'm saying, the biggest thing, and just how saturated the industry is, where basically if you had anything basketball related in your life, as far as colleges or anything like that, it could get real saturated to the point where it's so many players, but it's so many leagues. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of basketball.
I'm gonna say it's not no requirements or anything.
Yeah, but they basically, that's what I went into in the beginning. Basically, they'll ask you your background, of course.
Okay, yeah. An interview kind of thing.
Yeah, they'll ask you your background. But the thing is, it's just the process it's just a little much. But I wouldn't change anything about my journey and how I got it. You know what I'm saying? That's what really make this shit fun. Because at the end of the day, everybody genuinely has their own route into this end goal. You may get a few players that had the same route, but that's what make the journey. And I feel like if you're not in love with the process of getting better, failing, hearing 30 no's until you hear one yes, if you're not prepared for that, mentally and taking all that, and then still going to the gym and getting, because at the level of basketball, there's different pay rates.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, of course, EuroLeague players or NBA players, they get paid the most, NBA and EuroLeague players. But then, right beneath that line, you get players that's that get paid a certain amount a month. You know what I'm saying? For example, $2,000 a month and, $3,000 a month and $1,000 a month, shit like that. But, so you're not taking care of your family or yourself on this type of salary. So I feel in the meantime, really just establish yourself where you living, as far as job wise, and then if you have the support system to do so as the goal, and live off so much a month in another country, then that's when I say to do it.
Okay.
Really, for real. But yeah.
What do you see the experience overseas changing in the future for future players? Do you see anything?
I see it really growing. And it's growing to the fact that the NBA is starting to like have NBA Africa. They have NBA Africa now. They'll have like
Oh, I know that.
yeah, they have NBA Africa. So it's basically like uh, just like an NBA. It's an NBA league, but it's like in Africa. And there's Africa teams that it's just like the NBA, but it's in Africa basically.
Okay.
And I've heard that they're doing it in Europe also.
Mm.
So I feel like it's going to be a lot more leagues, a lot more countries, and a lot more players being qualified to like live their dream
Opportunity.
out. Yeah, a lot more opportunity. Yeah, exactly. A lot more opportunity. So I see it really growing for now, and it comes, and with the good comes the bad. So a lot more scammers, a lot more BS leagues, a lot more shady people. So just like it's just like every other industry in the world.
Yeah, the business.
The business part.
Just growing.
So, yeah, I definitely see it growing.
Yeah,
though. Like, for sure.
What would you say the most rewarding part of your journey has been?
The most rewarding part.
Rewarding part.
Yeah. Like,
what you most proud of?
The first time I was able to say that I got paid to play a sport that the very first time, and then after that it was just talking to my kids and seeing the reaction on their face when I bring back a jersey and I give them stuff and they get to bragging to their friends. Oh, my dad just came back from this and that, and that. So just giving them like. Not necessarily the blueprint, but a visual in live representation of what you got to do in order to achieve what you want to do. So they know what time I go to the gym. They know how many times I go to the gym.
Right.
They know that there's a lot that go into accomplishing stuff. And I think that's the thing with my daughter. She wanted to play volleyball, but she didn't practice. And I said, Peanut, like, you see me go to the gym every day at 5 a.m. and you actually thought that you was gonna do that. She was like, yeah, you're right. So I guess that's the most rewarding part, is just like
being an example.
just proving myself right. You know what I'm saying? Doing something that my kids and my family and my close friends could be proud of and say that they, you know what I'm saying, that the journey that I had, I still was able, you know what I'm saying, to make it for real.
Okay. To a future player listening right now, what would you say they should be doing to prepare to go over?
Like I said, establish yourself at home. Get a support system, because it's going to get rough. You know what I'm saying? Get a lot of players, they do like DoorDash and Uber Eats and Instacart, stuff like that. Get established with some type of income, because 9 times out of 10, if you taking this route, like, you won't be feeding your family with the money you'll be making. So that's why at the end of the day, you really gotta love this shit. Like, it all goes back to that. You gotta love it. So if it's something that you want to accomplish, just to be able to compete, earn a little money, save up and, apply it when you get home and just maneuver that way, you definitely got to establish yourself at home, for one. And with that, for two, you got to stay in the gym, because, like I said, you never know when you'll get that call.
Phone call.
Yeah, that phone call. So you definitely got to stay ready mentally, stay ready physically, and just do your homework, do your research on leagues, and even if it's a league that you don't even have interest in playing in, just like you'll be surprised at like how connected some leagues are, and they're not even in the same country or whatever. They might be in the same continent, but you know what I'm saying. Just ask around, get to talking to coaches, and you know what I'm saying, get a feel for it. But definitely do your research. Also on top of preparing yourself at home and also preparing yourself in the gym.
Yeah,
for real.
All right. Sound like you covered a lot. Anything else you want to just throw out there for the people?
Yeah, just so I real life wanted to do this episode basically just to, like I said, to just reach out to the people that had questions for anything. If anybody have any questions about their journey or any more red flags or unsurety when it comes to like dealing with agents or teams or things like that, you feel free to reach out to me, because I feel like this is it for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm putting my
Hanging it up?
hooping shoes down.
Oh,
Yeah, of
man.
course, like I'm still, you know what I'm saying, I'm still in the gym or whatever, and I'm still kind of in some type of shape. So if a team do reach out to me like anytime in the near future, I'll definitely consider it.
Right.
But as of now, I retired. I'm retiring
Wow.
from playing.
That's big, though.
Yeah, man. So
How you feel about that?
yeah, I
Like,
mean, it's a bittersweet moment.
yeah.
I got the podcast to keep me busy, of course.
Definitely.
My son actually called me, and his mom is making him play a sport or do something because, you know, my daughter, she's in dancing. So she told him that next year he got to do something. So this man said that he was going to play basketball. So I put on a serious face, and I told him, like, you know, you do understand that it's gonna be days where you gonna hate me.
Yeah.
You know, and I talked to my daughter, I was like, Peanut, it's gonna be days where he come on talking about, you know, I hate that, fuck him, and all this other shit. Like, what you gotta understand is that
push him.
yeah, I gotta push him. So I'm gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on attending my daughter's competitions, and because she in high school, and get my son ready for that, and stay in the gym, and you know.
Well, that's beautiful. Congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Long and great.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a journey, but like I said, I wouldn't change.
Yeah,
I wouldn't change none of it. You know, I'll go through this again.
Yeah,
5 more times if I have to. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah, so basically all the hoopers out there that's really like locking in, stay locked in. Continue to do your research. Continue to reach out, and fall in love with the grind. Definitely got to fall in love with the grind. What else can I really say to really wrap this up, man? Just trust in yourself, man. It's because it's kind of hard to prove your talent. So definitely, if you do anything, get some film. Whatever you do, get film. Whatever it is, just get film, because that's a big part. There may be sometimes where, you know, you have an opportunity, and, you know, you have to either pay for your own flight or whatever. But that goes into doing your research. Don't go out and, you know, taking a limb out on doing something and then it end up being some bullshit. Then, you know what I'm saying, you're in a situation. So, but that comes with this type of journey that you have to bet on. You have to bet on yourself a lot. You have to prove yourself, because even like NBA players and EuroLeague players and people that played at the highest level have to prove themselves. Right. So just imagine the work that you have to do. You have to real life prove yourself. So reach out to those teams and bet on yourself. Some combine camps where you have to pay like a fee, and then, you know, if you feel like you have a good chance of making the team or whatever the combine is for, bet on yourself. Gotcha. Pay that $200 something. It's better than wasting it on Jordans or you know, or weed, or, you know, a turn up, or Saturday night turn up, whatever. You gotta put that same effort that you put into like enjoying yourself and living life. If this is something that you want to do and you actually love this game, and understand and be real with yourself and understand, like, hey, you know, I'm at the level where I know I can't feed my family, but I can experience it and make a little money and build connections, because when I don't want to play no more, I want to be a coach, or I want to be an agent, or I want to be, you know, open my consulting company and, you know, help players, you know, shit like that. So you definitely bet on yourself, because you never know what can happen. Like, you can talk to a team and they could be real with you and tell you, like, hey, we don't have no money to invest in you, but we have a summer camp coming up, and I want to see you in person. You know what I'm saying? Are you able to fly out here? And then you could fly out there, and then they be like, you know what, we want to sign you, and then you don't go home. You know what I'm saying? Like, it gets real like that. It really gets real like that, where the season may start in September and you go out there in the beginning of August, and they tell you, stay out here. We gonna move you into your apartment next week. You're gonna meet the team and whatever, and then, you know, so you got to be prepared for that also. So That definitely that. So bet on yourself, stay ready, and like I said, if anybody got any questions about anything, and as far as like even mentally, because I'm real big on mental health too. So if any obstacles you feel like you came across where you're out there alone and you want to ask, how I got through it, or just sometimes they just need people to talk to, especially if you going to plan somewhere in Europe and your family's in, let's say, Chicago, and there's an 8-hour difference. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the family gonna be asleep. You're gonna disconnect a lot. So and then some people not able to handle that. So just anything, reach out to me. I hope this was real informative to anybody that's in the route of trying to accomplish the dream and reaching out to agencies and teams like that. If it's anything I didn't touch on, like I said, just reach out to me. I'm happy to help you, and stay away from them scammers too. Stay away from the scammers, for real. Yeah, thank y'all. Like I said, the next episode is the finale of the season 1 of Fhony Kickin It with Six. I thank y'all for tuning in. Yeah. Like I said, I hope it was informative, man. I'll catch y'all on the finale. Y'all be smooth, be safe, stay warm if you're from Chicago. It's cold as fuck outside.